Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today is the update for my Canvas eyeshadows. I am filming this ridiculously early. As I'm filming this, the last update hasn't even been uploaded yet. Like, I've filmed that already. I pre-filmed my videos about 2 weeks in advance. I try to just give myself some air, and also if something happens and I'm not able to film it, it's not like panic hits the house, if you will. I will have a few days before I actually have to upload, so I can film if I need to. But that doesn't matter. I have a good update, and why should I wait with filming if I can film now? And so maybe this is not really going to be a surprise if I'm filming this early already, but we have a good amount of rollouts. So I'm gonna go through all of my shadows. I have been using the prompt list that Makeup with Laney made. She's linked down below, and the list of prompts is as well. I'm trying to hit a pan for every prompt that is in the list, so it's 100. I've checked my spreadsheet. I'm not really sure if it's matching up with all of the prompts that are in the wheel, but I have about 30 or so left to work on. So we're just gonna check them out. So I'm starting with the shadows that have been in the longest and then work my way up. The first one is, let's start with this one. The first one I rolled in for the prompt starts with You, and this is the shade You're a Vision from ColourPop. Now this comes from the Or and Out palette. No. Yeah, the Or and Out palette, the green one. And I have since filmed a ColourPop collection and declutter video. That should be up already, so I will link it for you guys. This one didn't make the cut. This is what it looks like, and as you can see, I managed to hit pan. This is one of those satin shades, so it's a matte with glitters in it. I don't like those out of ColourPop. None made the cut in that declutter video. I got rid of all of the satin shadows, so this one as well. They are easier to hit pan on because of the formula. They're very powdery, like kick up flies everywhere. So they're the easier ones from ColourPop to hit pan on, but I don't like them. So this one I managed to hit pan on, and it got decluttered. Let me see. So I had previously used that 13 times, and it took me 4 extra uses to hit pan, so a total of 17. For ColourPop, that's pretty good, because most ColourPop shadows will take you over 30 uses to hit pan on. So, but yeah, that one is rolling out of this project and leaving my collection. I will not miss it. Then let's just move on to all of those shadows that are in the same palette. I rolled 3 shadows from my Beauty Bay Brights palette, and they were all 4-letter prompts. No, that's a lie. I have 2 for a letter prompt and then 1 for a color prompt. How am I going to show you this? I'm just going to say all of the prompts and then show you the entire palette, because I don't feel like covering up some of the shadows. So I was working on orange shadow matte, an orange matte, so that was for that prompt. Then shadow that starts with K, I was working on the shade Kale from this palette. And then shadow that starts with S, I was originally working on the shade Satin, but last month I switched it out for the shade Sneakers in this palette. Are you ready? So this is what my palette is looking like. Right here in the corner we have the shade Kale that I was working on, and as you can see, there's a teeny tiny pan. Oh my gosh, when I hit this pan I immediately stopped using it. I've done so much green eyeliner for the past month, So I previously used this 5 times. I had to use it 5 more to hit pan. Then moving down one row, here is the shade Fire for the orange matte prompt that I was working on. This I had previously used 9 times and took me 3 extra uses to hit pan, so a total of 12. And then one row below that is the shade Sneakers. So this was rolled in last time and it took me 6 uses to hit pan. So that's not a lot. You can see I used a very detailed brush because I only used it in my inner corners and under my brow. So that and these pans are not very deep, so quite easy to hit pan on. So that is 3 shadows rolling out. Very happy to have more pans in this palette. I'm on the fence about what I think about this palette, so it's good that I've got some use out of some shadows. And then the last 2 shades were rolled in last time, and they also come from the same palette, and this is the My Computer Shop Peacock palette. So I rolled the prompt Pan Graveyard, which means I had to roll in a shadow that I previously tried to hit pan on, but I failed to do so. And then I also rolled the prompt Shadow from Your Favorite Palette. Now this is currently my favorite palette. It is a stunner. I love this palette so much. And let's just go and look at what my palette is looking like right now. This is her. You can see very well loved. And the 2 shadows that I was working on are right here. So this is the shadow Blue Cloak that rolled in for my favorite shadow from my favorite palette. It is a stunning shadow. This already had quite a dip. I think I hit pan after 2 or 3 uses. I have used it more times. I've marked it as 6. I'm pretty sure I've used it about 10 to 15 times in the last couple of days, months, whatever, no, month. So I've expanded the pan quite a bit. This pairs perfectly with my, where is it? There we go. My Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Prance. Like these are the same color. So put this in my waterline and then this on my lower lash line. A little shimmer on top if I feel like it. It's stunning. I love it so much. So hitting pan in this and getting use out of this was not a problem. And then for Pan Graveyard, I rolled in the shade below it, which is called Lady Peacock. You can see I've hit a pan in there. This took me 7 uses to hit pan. It is quite a soft formula, so it did move a little bit. And I used a very detailed brush. This I paired with that Kill shadow, so the dark green matte. I've done so much green liner. I was getting sick of it. I didn't love it per se. It was a look. I've done a lot of orange on the lid and then a green liner. Very Halloween appropriate. But I was very happy to hit pan in this shadow. It's not my favorite out of the palette, but I'm happy to have a pan. I'm happy to have 2 extra pans in this palette. This one is so well loved. I'm very glad to see that. And I'm also very happy that we have a complete refresh. So I'm gonna have to roll 6 new prompts and then pick 6 new shadows. Very exciting. Also a little bit scary. So I'm gonna check to see if I've updated this. Something you want to pan. So I have 27 options left. Oh yeah, we're gonna roll. Here we go. So 6 shadows, 6 prompts to roll. First one is a Colourpop matte. Oh no. Okay, that's gonna be in for the long haul. The next one is Green Shadow Shimmer. Okay. Then we have Black Shadow. Okay, interested to see where this is going. Remind you of summer. Very appropriate. It is raining outside today. It's so gloomy. Then we have a mainstream brand shadow. Do I need one more? I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, one more. And that is going to be something you want to pan. Okay, I'm gonna check my collection and I will be right back. All right, that was a little bit of an adventure, but I've made up my mind. I've swatched out my color story. I will show you at the end. Let's check out my shadows. For the prompt Colourpop Matte, I'm rolling in the shade Bare to Wear. It is currently in this palette. I will take it out, put it in its own separate palette. This is originally from the Colourpop Nude Mood palette, and it is a transition shade. Have some wear on it already, so hoping it won't take too long to hit pan, but it is Colourpop and it's a matte, so who knows. Then for the prompt Green Shimmer, I'm rolling in my Beauty by Earthy palette. This is the only palette of the 9 pans that I've left untouched because I love it very much. And luck has it that there's still a green shimmer in here that does not have pan. This one right here. So I'm gonna try and hit pan on that. Okay, then for the next 3 shadows, we're back at this palette. I just decided to make it easy on myself. So I am gonna work on the shade Storm for black shadow because that's a black. Then I'm gonna work on the shade Sunflower for the prompt Remind You of Summer. I love yellow. I've worn yellow all throughout summer. Still some days I wear yellow even though it's not summer, but this definitely reminds me of summer. So I'm working on that. And then for the prompt mainstream brand, I'm also picking Beauty Bay as my mainstream brand because I feel like that's the most mainstream brand that I own, possibly. And I'm going to be working on the gold that is right next to it, which actually is a very, very nice gold. It is called Nectar. I was very surprised when I swatched that. I love golds, so I decided, you know what, let's work on that. So more love for this palette. We shall see how I do. And then for the last prompt, something you want to pan out. This was difficult because that color story didn't really make a whole lot of sense, and I was like, what am I gonna add? And then I found a shadow that is stunning, but it's gonna be hard work to hit pan on. So I am rolling in a shadow from my Zoeva collection. I've had 3 palettes. I've depotted. If you have not seen that video, I will link it for you guys. I am gonna roll in, let me check the name, the shade Liquid Center from the I think this is from the Caramel Delights palette. I'm gonna pop it up top so you can see. It is that shadow right there. Stunning shadow, but these ones, I don't know if you can tell, are deep. They have a lot of product in there. So it might take me a while, but it's a beautiful shadow, so I think it'll be fun. And then here is my color story swatched out. Oh, and it again does not want to focus. So we have here barely visible the Colourpop Matte, then the Beauty Bay Earthy Green Shimmer, the black, the yellow, and the gold from the Beauty Bay Brights palette. And then this is the Zoeva shadow. You can see that is like molten metal. Honestly, the gold one is also very beautiful. Did not expect that. So I'm excited to work on this, but that one is stunning. So I think these will work together quite nicely with this as a transition, and also maybe even with the yellow. And then green, I don't know what I'm gonna do with green. Green and gold looks possibly. I don't want to do green liner anymore because I've been doing that for the past month. And I'm done with green liner. And then the black is gonna be a liner because I don't really use black often anywhere else. So that is all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.